So yeah, this valve cover is fun. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'm actually doing a bit of a spring cleaning. I'm checking the rockers, make sure that the lash is good. I'm also checking for wear on the tips, and I'm also installing a catch can system. So pretty much the valve covers are gonna have these fittings and they're all gonna go to another one of these. That way I don't have oil spray all over the place, because whenever I drive it hard and I get on it a lot, you can actually see here like the wires have a little bit of spray. That's oil that is just accumulating on the breathers. So pretty much every so often I have to wash these, and that's just getting kind of old because these turn brittle. They're a pain in the ass to take out of the cover. And with these air raid ones, this rips. This is the first one out of 4 that I've had that hasn't ripped when I go take it out. So out of these two, this is the kind that seems to work the best. I just don't want to have to clean them. So what I'm doing is that once I have those fittings installed, which I'm actually installing one here, I'm actually using a really thick rubber grommet to bring it above these lines on the valve cover. So once those are on, these are gonna go onto some hoses and then onto another catch can, like the one that you already saw under the hood. Other than that, I'm also changing the spark plugs. The driver's side is already done. It's pretty straightforward. There's not much of a pain to take that valve cover out. But this is the one that it's a piece of work, because as you can see, there's not much space. And on top of that, I have 12 valve covers to clear the rockers. So I'll let you guys watch me put it back on, so you'll see how I'm like struggling with it. Well, by the looks of the weather, it looks like cruising season has started. So I got a couple things that I have to tighten up. If you saw in a previous video, we installed a couple of fire extinguishers in the car. Now I'm currently working on getting the wiring done for the line lock, which it's in another separate video. You saw me install and bend the lines and all of that. Right now, if you see these fittings right here on the valve covers, I'm installing a oil catch can system. I keep getting oil out of the valve covers once it builds up on the breathers. So to mitigate that, I'm pretty much just gonna make it kind of like a sealed system with a vent can right over here. Actually, I haven't even decided if it's gonna go there or it might just go over here. I'm just kind of trying to keep it away from the hot side. That way the oil has time to condense and stay in the can. I'm still working on the wiring for that's going to the rear. Still kind of got to clean up those wires over there, and I got to replace this solenoid here because I cooked it. So I used to have the shield here, and I completely forgot to take this out or put something in between the exhaust side and the solenoid so I wouldn't cook it. But you live and you learn, I guess. So I got to replace that. I gotta replace that solenoid. And funny enough, I wanted to take the car to the track today, but at 17 pounds I don't think it's gonna be anything impressive. So once I get that fixed, I'll take it to the track. I might still go to the track, I don't know. But yeah, I have a bunch of little projects that I gotta tighten up, and right now I'm waiting for a tap, because what I'm doing is that those lines are gonna run to this, but I want to use -10 fittings, and the one with the perfect even size all the way throughout, it's a 1/2 inch, and these are 3/8. So I'm gonna tap this out to 3/8. It's gonna be kind of thin on the bottom, but it's not pressurized or anything like that. It doesn't have to be super strong, so I'm not really worried about it being thin on the bottom. As long as it doesn't leak, I'll be good. So I'm gonna be putting these two right there. and running a pair of hoses, and then put straight fittings on the ends of that. And here's the other solenoid that I'm replacing. Actually, it's down here. I've just had it out to test it, make sure that it's good. And other than that, I brought up the shocks. I brought up the coilovers, the rear coilovers, and the sprays for the rear. All of that will be coming up in other videos. Right now, like I said, I'm gonna be working on this. I'm actually just waiting for the tap, and once the tap shows up, I'm gonna tap these out. So anyways, while I'm in there messing with that, I decided to remove my EVAP canister, because since I went to the XFI, it's not operational anymore, so there's nothing driving the solenoid. It's a good time to kind of show you guys how I had mine attached up there. So I made this very simple bracket. This attaches where the vacuum ball was at, and pretty much all I did was turn the vacuum ball this way, attach it by one of the holes, which has made it perfectly fine just so far. And as you can see, it's perfectly fine. Now I just put it back the way it was, because like I said, I removed this. So I don't know, maybe if you're looking to see how to relocate your EVAP, this would be the kind of bracket you make. And this edge right here, this tip right here, was attached to the bolt that holds this part of the air dam. Like I said, these two were attached to where the vacuum ball was attached. And then this was very simple, pretty much that there, with this hose clamp like moi. And yeah, that held it in place. The wires reach. I just had to extend the hoses to these nipples, and so forget anything I said about nice weather. Welcome to Maryland, I guess. So now I'll show you what the catch can looks like finished. Actually had a chance to test it out, because yesterday was actually a really nice day, and I was out cruising up around Kirkwood Highway, and I got to run my buddy. Pretty even match, even though I'm only running 17 pounds. You know, his car's faster. So anyways, 17 pounds only, no oil came out of anywhere. So let me just show you what it looks like. So pretty much I did end up putting the catch can right here. You can see it's a very simple system. Two lines, one runs to one valve cover, the other one runs to the other valve cover. And yeah. So the sole purpose of this is so whatever blow by I get, once I get into boost, instead of building up on directly on the filter right there, I'll have time to travel through here, hopefully collect in the catch can, and whatever still stays as a vapor is catch by this filter, which will make it a lot easier to clean. And like I mentioned before, the issue I was having is where oil would build up on these over time, and then it eventually starts spraying onto the surrounding area. And I'm not talking about ridiculous amounts, but you could see here how the wire is kind of like dirty, and it would shine, it would make the area around the filter kind of shiny because it was oily. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Very simple system. I had to get the two fittings for the valve covers, and then the four fittings, once a 90, once a 45, two straights. The catch can already had the filter that came off of my driver's side valve cover. So yeah, this is my solution for that. The weather's not cooperating today, so there's not going to be any driving, cruising, or racing of any sort. Just to give you guys a sneak peek to the next video, I put together one of these coilover shocks for the rear. I was holding off on installing these because I wanted to do an M9 rear end. I wanted to wait until I had my new rear end, but I'm running into the issue where my rear tires are rubbing into the tire well because the shocks are soft. So I'm just gonna have to put these on, and then, so I was holding off on installing these until I got my new rear end, but my new tires are actually rubbing into the tire well because the shocks are soft. So I'm just gonna put them on. I wanted to kind of do it all at once. But like I said, that'll be for another video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and share this with anybody that may find it useful.